today, so I thought I would just do a quick live stream to kind of get used to, sharing this stuff. If you didn't know, I'm Billy Marie. I am attempting this 180-day challenge of writing my dystopian fantasy novel called The Last Forest on Earth. This bus is actually huge in terms of inspiration. I came up with the novel before creating this glampsite, this Airbnb, uh, but like going through the process of living on the bus, hosting, all of that jazz, I've learned so much, and it's actually helped build this fictional world that I'm trying to put to a book by the end of this 180-day challenge. So I wanted to kind of show you the behind the scenes. Let's see how this can work. I think we're gonna do it like this. Okay. So first and foremost, it's not. I did a deep clean before the last guest, so it's not messy. It's just cluttered, which is good. That means it's a healthy space to start in. Usually, the first thing I do is kind of just think about the guest, right? I'm trying to understand why the guest chose us, where they're coming from, and what they need in order to make this a positive stay. Now, I'm going to be the first to admit I am not always 100% on the mark, but for the most part, like, I 100% try. And I think that is what separates, super hosts or very good hosts who are catering to the hospitality need versus not so good hosts who are literally just in it to make a quick buck. So I'm going to unpack some things and show you the first part of the process. I actually found these. Actually, you know what? I will tell you about the guest while keeping them anonymous for now. They are a couple that is traveling from abroad. They were touring around either the States or California. I'll find out in person if I get a chance to meet them. But they're choosing to celebrate their honeymoon on the school bus. So I am so excited, but also so scared, so nervous, like all of it. I found this cool card game. It's called Let's Get Closer. I don't know what the vibe is, but it claims to be a conversation card for couples. We also have this awesome card game, which one of our really cool guests, Miranda and Solania, left when they stayed here one night. We're Not Really Strangers, which is an awesome game. If you can't tell, I'm very much into cards and tactile ways of interacting with people, so these are fun. I'm going to leave it unwrapped, and I actually want them to have it. So this is going to be part of their like gift basket. I'll put this right here for now. In the meantime, I've got my banana for when I'm low on energy. I've got my ginger chews for when I need that too. I am going to bust out our markers. So, and a whiteboard. Ignore what's currently written. This is all information that I should take a picture of before racing for the last forest on Earth. That's what this is. Again, if you hop onto the live stream, definitely let me know so I could hopefully take a peek at your chats. I'm not sure how chat works. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm completely new to live streaming, but thanks to Twitch and thanks to one of our followers, Soul the Dreamer, who put together this huge like how to live stream on Twitch document for me. I think I got the hang of it, and now I just need to like focus and practice. So I'm just erasing the whiteboard, and it's kind of it's a silly way to do it, but I'm just gonna write like a welcome to the Skoolie, happy honeymoon, or congratulations on your wedding, something like that, just to show the guests that um, I'm obviously thinking about them and I'm thinking about the reason they're here and I'm trying my best to cater to that reason. Again, sometimes I miss the mark. I think my last two guests, I missed the mark for reasons I'll get into another video. But this particular guest I feel very happy about and very excited about. Okay. So what do you think? Maybe we could put this somewhere like right here. Cool. Woo! Caught it. I think what we'll do is we'll start with like blue purple. And I'm just gonna do some very basic handwriting. Boop 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 boop. We're gonna say welcome. Ooh, yikes. Well, come. Oh God. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. So welcome, and I'll put their names. You know what? We're gonna do it all over again because it does need to be somewhat perfect. So that way, again, it's a nice representation of their stay. And I'll say a very small one. Well, well, you could drive a truck through this kerning, but that's the point. You could drive a bus. That's funny. Welcome. There we go. Welcome. Then I'll put their names to the cool. Welcome their names to the. Here we go. I'll stay with Starry. I'm gonna stick with like a very cutesy sans serif font. Starry Night. And this particular guest, she told me that they are here just to enjoy the vibes of the night sky, which is awesome. Which Starry Night Skoolie. Cool. And I'm actually going to change the name of the Skoolie from Starry Night Skoolie to the Starry Night School Bus. I've never been a fan of like the K with the Skoolie. I get it. I've never been a fan of the IE either. But I like the idea of like the Starry Night School Bus specifically for kids. Okay, it's a super basic welcome sign, but I think they will enjoy it. And normally I have like a drawing of the bus itself, the night sky, something pretty. We'll put like tree icon. Boop, 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 boop. Again, just very, very basic. And then we'll put like the bus and the wheels on the bus. Boop, 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 boop. Cool. There's other wheels. We'll put the night sky. We'll put the moon. And finally, we'll put the mountain ranges because those are super important. There we go. Dot, 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 dot. Cool. So we've got welcome, guest name, to the Starry Night Skoolie, which, you know, it's not the fanciest welcome sign. I wish I could do chalk art, which I'm okay at it. I just don't have a working chalkboard. Uh, so I'm doing dry eraser, and I'm not a dry eraser art person. So we'll say their names. I'm going to try to remember to hide that so you cannot see it. Maybe we'll put them in handwriting. Okay, and then a heart, of course, for good luck. Cool. I am liking how this is turning out. We'll put some stars, some pink stars. Boop, 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 boop. Seven sisters. And then, there we go. Cool. Welcome, so and so, to the Starry Night Skoolie. I will keep this right here. And in the meantime, I think one of the next things we can do is, again, sort of set the intention of, like, okay, they're here for a night underneath the stars. We're going to make sure these lights work. Sweet. And I actually do want to say another shout out. Huge thank you to one of our previous guests, Shalimar, who gifted us very kindly these nightlights when she realized that our nightlights were not cutting it. As a host, I really appreciated that, and I thought it was super sweet. So I drew, you know, a little school bus, Starry Night school bus, just a little reference there. This one is blank because my daughter had been playing with it because it's such a cool light. So I'll keep these over here for now, and then I'll charge them later. But okay, we've got the intention set, which is we're hoping that this couple has an amazing night under the stars, in the schoolie, and just in the desert. They're from abroad, they're traveling, so we're hoping for that like adventurous vibe and that adventurous spirit. Here we go. Here's the charger for these. So we'll charge one. Boop. Okay. Now I actually have a list of things that I want to fix before they get here. I don't know if I'm going to finish them all, but at the very least I can try. So we'll do this. Um, I've got some coconut water because it's super refreshing and it's just good to have a type of juice slash water with lots of nutrients and not sugar, not artificial things when you're in the middle of the desert because it gets so hot, your body needs those electrolytes. So I'm gonna put this in here. This is our little tiny refrigerator, which was actually gifted to us by my former college counselor, Mary Schaefer. Thank you so much, Mary, for gifting us not only that tiny refrigerator, but also the microwave that like upgraded our system completely. In there, I had Haagen Dazs. Ooh, yummy. Which is one of my personal favorites. I haven't tried caramel cone, but I'm a huge fan of like the dulce de leche. I think it's really good. I have a feeling this is a similar vibe. They were excited. Uh, our guests were excited to do a campfire, so I stopped by the store to get like campfire s'moresy ish supplies and snacks. They said they're not big drinkers. I usually like to check in to see if anybody is like focusing on sobriety or if they have a preference in mind. So I didn't get them wine or champagne to celebrate, but I did get them this. Let's turn that up a little bit. Uh, and I also got my personal favorite, Chips Ahoy. Oh, hi! There is someone watching, but I have no idea who it is. Hello. Again, if you're a human, hi. I'm just organizing the Starry Night Schooling for our next guest. The last thing I did was create this beautiful welcome sign. Oops, sorry, guest name. There we go. This beautiful welcome sign. Hey, Soul! Oh my gosh. What are the odds? Thank you again, Saul, for subscribing to the Patreon. By the way, that was really cool to see on my email. So I'm just walking through what it takes to get the Starry Night School Bus ready for the next guest. They are from abroad. They're traveling from their honeymoon, and they chose the Starry Night School Bus as like one of their destinations. So I feel super honored, and I'm like, I got to make sure this is perfect for them. So of course, I got Chips Ahoy because who doesn't love having cookies next to a bonfire underneath the stars? That'll go great with the ice cream I have in the fridge. I'll keep this here because I'm actually going to toast it in our little toaster, so that way the bus will have that smell of like yummy cookies smell. Let's see, what else? I have this particular teapot, which I'm no longer keeping my personal supplies on the bus. I'm keeping it at my apartment, but my mom gifted this to me as like a housewarming gift, and I really think it's gorgeous. So I wanted the guests to have it for a night, and then I'll take it back once they check out, we'll keep that here. Then, of course, cooking supplies. I've got the pepper and the salt. This is a really cool plant. I just got like a very basic ivy from, Lowe's or Ace Hardware or Tractor Supply. And then we also, Soul the Dreamer says, I saw nothing. I appreciate that. Yeah, the Skoolie isn't my future dream. You should get baked cookies. Ooh, that's a great idea. I used to have like a autumn, Halloween, fall candle. So if you're familiar with those scents of like autumn, pumpkin pie, spices, it's such a nice candle. But I took it out of here only because I couldn't find like a natural version of that. So when I do, I'm gonna bring it back. But for now, it'll be the cookie vibe. Yeah, but this is kind of cool. I found this terrarium thing separately, and then I just put the plant inside of it. I think it's awesome because, like, dude, once this grows, and it has been growing, it's going to be really killer. I don't know if it's strong enough to support the root system. If you could see, yeah, you can see the roots are pretty happy. They're chilling in there. But for now, it's working, and I can kind of feel that it's stable. I would love to suspend this from somewhere, but just to be safe, I'm going to keep it, maybe over here somewhere. Boop. Oh, Soul, you will appreciate this. So since the couple is on their honeymoon, I got them this card game. I found it at like just a basic grocery store. It's called Let's Get Closer. It's like 36 conversation cards for couples. So I'm actually going to gift it to them as part of their welcome basket. Let's see what else. This is pretty cool. It's like a spice rack. Again, this is from my personal apartment, but I'm bringing it just for the night because I think they would appreciate having this type of spice rack during their stay. Okay, I think the final thing for setting intentions is actually going to be this. Um, After one of our last days where we parted on not the best terms, it took me a while to heal. I will openly admit that. And then when I did, I thought, you know what, I need to make like some sort of sign that is inviting the guests to participate in sort of like the sacred agreement where in exchange for staying here, you're going to respect the space. You're not going to screw it up. You're not going to break things on purpose, and you're not going to leave it a mess. Please treat it like you are the main character in its story. I think that is super relevant because this bus is a part of The Last Forest on Earth, the novel that I'm writing. Like I got totally inspired by it. So I want to make sure that it maintains that integrity. And my hope and my wish is that it attracts the right people who are going to come to the bus, with that sort of integrity. And they're going to come to the bus with that sort of knowing that, like, okay, in exchange for the stay, I'm going to do my best to take care of it like it's my own. And then, of course, above all, share your story, especially with all whom you hold dear. So this is a good vibe. I'm going to put this here for now, just because when I organize the desks, that's when I think I'll get this ready. So let's put this down like that. And then in the meantime, this is kind of cool. I've never seen this before, and I saw it at Lowe's. They're like dried flowers, if you can see that. So they smell really great, and they're not real. I don't think they're real. I really don't think they're real. Oh, I saw a chat. Let's see. You can make your own. Just get cinnamon, cloves, and chamomile essential oil into beeswax. That is cool. Thanks for that tip. Oh, don't let them take away that spice rack. I appreciate that. It's a really cool spice rack. Uh, yeah, this is super interesting. It's like almost papery, and I wanna fall in love with this, whoever this is. So Garden Collection by Second Nature. I'll look them up after the stay, just because this is such a cool vibe. And I think for, something like the school bus, it's quirky, but it's thoughtful. It's got like this beige color that I find really elegant and really pretty for, celebrating your honeymoon. And even better, it doesn't require water. So it'll be perfect for the desert. I'm going to place this right here for now again because I'll set that up with their welcome basket. More spices and gum for me, just in case I get a little bit anxious. My friends know this, my family knows this, all of the people who I love know this. I get super anxious anytime a guest is going to stay. Before we had, the last guest who trashed the schoolie, I was still anxious, but I wasn't traumatized. I am now traumatized and anxious. So it's like next level. So this morning, I'm crying, I'm going through all the emotions, and at some point, my family ships in, they help. My daughter's in school, so that was super helpful too, right? Because that means I know she's safe, which means I can operate at a better frequency. And then again, at some point, thanks just to my support network and all the people who love the schoolie that, I never would have met without this bus. Thanks to that support network, I was able to like pull myself together and start this video, but also prepare all these things for the next guest. Okay, cool. I think now that we've got things organized, this is going to be kind of hard. So I got this from Lowe's just now. It's like a water connector. Again, I am not a how would you explain it? I am not a fixer or a builder of physical things. I am not a plumber. But like I try with DIY stuff. So to me, this is my guess. I've gotten a lot of requests for the water pressure to essentially be like stronger. Our water pressure is not that strong. I wonder if I could take you over there. I probably can. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to hook this up to a hose, which is very strong. And then my hope is to hook this to the sink, which again, who knows if any of this works? I have no idea. I'm just following advice on the internet and hoping that, these plumbers or the people who claim they're plumbers are actually telling the truth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you probably down here. Cool. And then let's do there. Cool. Hi. All right. Another thing I need to do is fix this. That's understandable. It came like that when I was going in here. All right, let's see how I could do this. Maybe what I could do is this. So this is under the sink. Oh, there we go. I see it. It's I think I'm gonna try to fix this. Oh, there's another human here. Hello, human. If you're a bot, please let us know. If you're not, then please let us know too. I'm. Oh, goodbye, human. They left. I'm gonna try and see if this can essentially go to not the hot water, but the cold water. And if it can, then I'll disconnect it and like connect it to the hose below the bus. I'm a little bit afraid just because I don't know to what extent that will work. So maybe first things first, I'll test the water. Okay, that's coming out. I think that's a little bit, it needs a little bit to start, but it is coming out. Okay. And again, you can see it's not the strongest pressure, so I understand when guests want the pressure to be stronger. And it's kind of like doing that spurt thing, which, again, as a non-plumber, I don't know how to fix that, but I do recognize it as like something I want to fix specifically for this couple's honeymoon. Let's see. While this is doing its thing, I think what I can do, yeah, I'll let that do its thing. Usually I let it run for a second. It's based off of this battery down here. Oh, I see it. There's like a little bit of a drip, which that's not good. So we're going to tighten that. We're going to say, Okay, that's up here. All right, I think that'll be okay. Okay, while that is going, let me check in here. This is the thing that's powering the battery to the water. So maybe we'll have that charged for a bit while we're doing this. Okay, I'll turn that off. Then in the meantime, here we go. I think one of the biggest things I could do is I can get rid of all of this. These are from the previous guest. And then I'll put that right here. Let's try this again. Cool. Again, shout out to my brother who gave me this tripod thing. It's actually from DJI, if anybody's familiar with them. Woo! Yeah, and it does like automated moving, which is really fascinating. So one of the things I tell each guest is not to necessarily worry about cleaning. And the good news is, I think because I tell them that and I don't charge them a fee, everybody, with the exception of like one or two people, has left the bus in really clean condition just out of the kindness of their hearts. So they'll like wash the dishes. Um, they'll strip the bed. This is an example of them stripping the bed, which is perfect. I get to just grab everything and run. Um, I'll put that here. Some of the blankets I'm going to reuse, like this one is a blanket that my sister got from Joshua Tree actually, and she gifted it to me for the school bus. This goes on top of everything, so I like to reuse it for each guest. I'll just air it out in the sun, but the sheets and the blankets that are close to your body, those all go into the washer after each guest. Down here, you can see this is actually like our electrical system. Woo! There we go. Cool. So you'll see that there is a Jackery, which is this top one, and the bottom one, as well as an EcoFlow configuration. The EcoFlow is hopefully charging, let's see, it's charging this extra battery, so that way, yeah, let's make sure it's charging this extra battery. It's at 6%. This can go here out of the sun. I think for now, yeah, let's see. I want to make sure that it's actually charging this thing. Cool, on, off. So what I can do is I'll probably stop the stream since I'm at almost 30 minutes. I'm going to focus on the EcoFlow to make sure that that is all charged, so that way the guests have, again, a really good experience. Okay, here we go. And then like this. Yeah, but thank you so much for tuning in, Soul. I appreciate you, and anybody seeing this in the future. I think Brooke, one of my former roommates in like after college, I think, saw the last video and left a comment. So Brooke, if you're watching this, it was really cool to see you, and I thought of you the other day when I was going through like YouTube archives. Brooke is actually one of the first YouTube creator types in the space, like way, 20 plus years ago when this first took off. So I have a lot of respect for her. She was a really cool person to be around back when I was in my early 20s because she was doing a lot of creator type work. Yeah, Soul the Dreamer. This is exciting. Behind the scenes of the Skoolie. Yeah, I'm hoping to do more of this. So yesterday was like lo-fi and lore. Today, I don't know what to call it, but it's like organizing slash cleaning the Skoolie, or like behind the scenes of the Skoolie. I like that. That's a good one. And tomorrow, if you have any ideas for a live stream, please let me know. It could be related to the last forest on Earth, what we're doing with Forever Starry Tree, the Starry Night Skoolie, or even just web slash tech stuff. But either way, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for taking a chance to check out the Skoolie before it gets set up for the next guest. All right. Have a good one. Oh, and if you didn't know, This is all part of a 180-day challenge. As I mentioned in the very beginning of the video, I am trying to, and I am committing to filming a video a day, even if it's just like a quick check-in. I want to hold myself accountable to creating content specifically for The Last Forest on Earth. And I want to get myself back into the mindset of thinking about the lore and the canon and the universe, so that way I can complete a finished draft of The Last Forest on Earth. That's the hope. By the end of this challenge, I'll have a book that's officially done and separate from me and just ready to go out into the universe. So I really appreciate you following. If you have a second, check out the card game that I created. It's just the first version, so I'm very much open to feedback and suggestions. It's an RPG card game you can play with your friends. My goal is to have that on the Skoolie one day, so that way I could be like, here's a card game for you to play on the school bus, which inspired this book, which inspired, a lot of the characters in this book. But until then, it is available as a printable. You can print it out for $1. I will add the link below. My goal is to have people participate in the making of it, so that way I can update each edition, and as the edition goes up, so does the dollar amount. So we had the first free tier that several of you participated in. Thank you so much for being part of that. Now we're at the dollar tier, which is like the second version of the card game. I think I'm hoping to get a couple more dollar creator fans, so that way I can put out the next version of that. So if you have any suggestions, and I'm talking specifically to Soul the Dreamer, and a couple others who have commented on other card game related videos that I've made, please let me know, because I take your advice and your criticisms very seriously, and I'll cater to that to the fullest extent that I can, as long as it aligns with the lore, right? But yeah, hopefully I will see you tomorrow. And until then, have a good rest of your Wednesday. And thanks for coming to the behind the scenes of the Skoolie. Send good vibes to the couple that's coming through, because again, this is their honeymoon stop. So I'm really excited. Bye.